Oh, good night. Oh, that's the Capitao. Teammate. Good night. Oh. Already breached attic. Oh. Good. Okay, I'm going in. Hey guys, welcome back to another video today. This is going to be a different one compared to the usual solo queue videos that I do. If you are here watching the settings video, be sure to check out my solo queue playlist too. Very helpful tips in that. I'm going to champion right now. Doing very well this season. I'm already in gold and I think I have like a 2 KD and a 2.81 loss or something after 20 something games. It's going great. But for this video, this is why you're here. You're wanting to see my settings, my attachments, my loadouts, my sensitivity, all of that stuff. I'm going to be showing all that in this video. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Don't want to waste any more of your time. So first, in the general, the most important thing here really is make sure your drone after prep is at least set to semi-automatic so it doesn't kick you out if you're on your own. That's what I use, but you can also use manual. I have my match replay off. I don't know if it helps my frames. I'm on 60 FPS only still, the old gen Xbox, so just in case I leave it off. A lot of times it doesn't even work. Crossplay, obviously you need that on. On the HUD, a couple weird things I do. I use health off. I don't like looking at the health at the bottom because I feel like that makes me play more passive, you know? I just like having it in the top. I can just quickly glance and see if I'm at like 1 health, 50 health, 100, whatever, to see if I can take gunfights or whatever. And I also have teammate gamertag off. That's a more common thing, but I just don't like seeing it's in the way. Besides that, though, I have everything else set to normal. There's nothing weird I have going on. On audio, I use night mode. I think that's the best for hearing footsteps. Turn your subtitles off. It gets in the screen sometime. I don't know why mine were even on. They have been for years, too. I just always forget. For field of view, I use 90. This is a very important thing. I feel like you're throwing if you're anything below 75, 74, something around the halfway point. But I would at least go 83 or higher, in my opinion. I tried 84 for a while. I liked it, but then I turned it back up to 90 and I felt insane. Your aim and everything feels so good. It is hard to see targets a lot of the time, unless you have like a huge monitor or TV. But I play on a 24-inch monitor, and I feel like most people do too. And it's easy enough to see at least. Sometimes you won't, but it's worth it. On brightness, I turn yours anywhere from 60 to 65. I go back and forth. Right now I'm just using 65. I feel like it's good on this monitor I'm using. But that just depends on whatever you have. The most important stuff here, you definitely want your gadget and drone deployment on advanced. A lot of people use this, not knowing, especially the newer players, because I think it's set to that on default. Make sure your aim assist is off when you're in terrorist hunt. You don't want that on for just that because it's not online. Anything else? I use classic rotation here. You can mess with the updated, but I played like in year 2 and year 1. That's when I started playing Siege, so I'm just used to this. I never wanted to switch and try that out. But you can if you want. For the sensitivity though, this is the important stuff. I use 40 vertical. You definitely want your vertical a little bit lower than horizontal like this. I always like having a 20 or so difference. I was using 35 for a bit, but I feel like on 40 it's easier to control the recoil vertically. And I do main twitch. I have been this season, so the F2 is a lot better when it's higher. And your horizontal, you want that a little higher probably. I say anything below 40, you're a little too slow. So make sure it's higher than that at least. Your dead zones, you want those as low as you can make them without having stick drift. I have a lot on my left stick, so I have 12. But you definitely, ideally, would want 5. I didn't even know toggling was a thing in controller. That's weird. My ADS settings, I'm using 30 for the 1X. This is a lot slower than the rest because you're not zoomed in or anything, obviously. So you don't want to be very fast on that one, I feel like, with the controller at least. These are controller settings. I'm not a cheater. I'm not playing mouse and keyboard. 1.5, I use 39. It's quite the jump, but I feel like this is great. My aim's insane with the 1.5, as you've seen in those clips at the start. 2X, I use 43, 2.5, 45, and so on. I just like going up gradually with these. I don't really use the 3X or 4X, though, or even these. These are Cali, then this is like Glass or something, or that scope on the Cade pistol. These don't really matter as much, but it's these first 4 that do. And then advanced settings, I have it disabled, but I have found out if you have it disabled and this outer threshold set to 15 for default, you're definitely going to want to turn that down. That was like that on my alternate account when I started my solo queue playlist this season, and it was so bad I could not aim at all. I could tell right away that it was off. So I turned that to 0, even when it's disabled. For some reason it went through. I don't know if that's a glitch or whatever, but you definitely want to make sure that's disabled like that and everything's set to the right thing. I would just copy what my settings are here, but you can mess around and see what you like. For the optic color, I like using the black. I feel like it doesn't like stand out too much. It's not too bright on my screen where I can't see. I feel like the purple's good too. It's more pink, but that's not really bright. I was using yellow for a while, but I think that made my aim a little off because I was too focused on like the reticle and not the screen. So black focused me more on my surroundings instead of the optic itself. And I like using 100 just so I can see it at least. You can turn that down too, probably that would help what I was just saying, but I just like 100. You definitely want your screen shake off. I had this on my alternate account for a while too, and I didn't even notice until one time in a game a fuse charge started going off and I could not see anything. It was so bad. For the team colors, I actually use orange for mine and blue for the other, and that's for a good reason. A lot of people just use blue for default, but if you have them on the other team, it's the easiest to see like claymores and whatever gadgets they have. You just have to get used to like seeing a default camera blue and being like, oh, I need to shoot that, you know, and seeing something that's orange and going like, oh, that's my team's. Let me not shoot my team's drone. It does take a while to adjust to probably, but it's definitely worth it. Okay, so going to the operators now. I'm just going to go through some of my mains and then I'll do the recoil guide for you guys too. I'll show you guys how to practice controlling your recoil and how I got really good at it. I feel like my recoil control is like top 1% kind of stuff. It's really good. Can't get much better than mine. But first on Sledge, I played him a little bit this season, so I'll show you. I use the angle grip. I'm pretty sure it aims you in faster by just a little bit now. They decreased it by a lot, but still a little bit better. Let me see. I'm almost certain it makes your left and right recoil less too. I think that's a change they made to it when they reworked the grips. When they added it to like every gun almost. You can see in these pictures too, it looks like the one on the left's going way more to the left direction than the right one. Obviously the vertical's worse, but there's like no vertical recoil on console compared to PC. So I feel like angle grip's really good on console and people just don't know that. That's why I run them on a lot of guns, if you've noticed. Just a little known thing. I'm pretty sure I'm right. If not, then just ignore what I'm saying. And obviously you want the 1.5 and flash hider. It just feels good on Sledge. I like the 2X sight the most over the 1.5, but they're both really good. I generally will be using both those sights on every gun. Okay, so next for Ash. This is one of my favorite guns in the game right now. Again, I have the angle grip on there, just like the L8, because, let me see on this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the left and right's not as bad there. by the time it gets higher, it's still at the same level as before. Maybe I'm just tripping. Even if it's not, I like the ADS speed just a little bit faster, because there's no recoil anyway. So watch the difference, you know? I do like the suppressor too on this gun. Suppressor is really good still, since they don't know where you are when you're shooting, especially if you flank behind them. And I'm really good at lurking, I feel like, so it's a good thing to do, especially when you're solo queuing, because that can really be the difference between you getting 0 kills that round and then an extra 3 kills after that if you mess that one up. Everybody misses some shots. I'm not saying potato, but everybody misses a couple shots. And when you're trying to shoot like a mouse and keyboard cheater that just flicks all over the place with a Roni, you know, could make the big difference. Okay, Twitch. I do use her a lot. There's not much you can do. Just use the 1.5, obviously. She's been my main this season. I'll show you some recoil control stuff with her when we load up the training grounds after. I do use Buck a little bit. Same 1.5 with a flash hider. I feel like flash hider is generally what I'm going to be using, unless it's extended barrel or silencer. Those are the 3 best I'm going to have on every gun almost, besides DMRs. Habana, I actually use ACOG, which is different than usual. Flash hider again, though. I do like ACOG on her gun for some reason. Not many operators have it anymore, but I feel like it's really good on her. I like getting the long angle on garage rafters with her too. Sophia, you're going to think I'm crazy for this, but I do use angle grip with a 2X. Again, no recoil for me vertically anyway, so why not? It's a little bit jumpy still left and right, but it's okay. It's not too bad. Dokkaebi, I have been using a little bit this season too. I've been liking the 2X, like I said, over the 1.5 on some guns like this. Also, this is where you want the muzzle brake, because you only have that in the suppressor. Suppressor's not bad either, because there's not much recoil on this gun, to be honest, so if you're on suppressor, I wouldn't even be mad at you, because I might try it too. I do use Amaru quite a bit too. Angle grip again with the 2X, just like the other guns I've been showing you. And flash hider on her. I used to try suppressor too, but that's a little too much recoil. Angle grip even though, there's a lot of recoil, but I can control it, so why not? I would recommend using the vertical grip though, in most cases, unless you're an experienced player. Yana, I use the same stuff as Ash, so I won't even go to that. Everything else is pretty much default. I do use a lot of 0. I don't know why I don't have them right now, that's weird. My game's been bugged. On defenders, there's not too much I need to show you guys really. This is the other example I was going to tell you about, the extended barrel. So when somebody has no recoil and he has low damage like Capcan, it goes from 33 to 38, and I think that's worth it. Because now in every situation it's going to be a 3-shot down. But 33, when you get a certain distance away, it's going to be a 4-shot down. So extended barrel is definitely worth it. So then to make up for it, I just use the vertical instead of the angle grip, because on defense you're going to be holding angles most of the time. You're not going to be un-ADS'd, so why have an angle grip on defense? And I do really like this reflex. I would try it out if you guys haven't. It might look a little weird, but it feels so good for some reason. Another example with the extended barrel is my Legion, because same thing. Now instead of being like a 5-shot in some situations when you get certain distances away, it's always going to be a 4-shot with a 31 damage. And it has no recoil anyway, which is also why I use the angle grip. I won't be mad at you if you use a vertical though, like I said before. You're usually always holding angles on defense. There's not much more I need to show you on defense though. If a gun has the 1.5 times sight too, always use it. There's no downside to it. The 1.5 is insane. That's why people use Warren so much this season, just because he has the 1.5. That's literally it. But okay, let's go ahead and jump into the recoil part. Okay, so I'm loading into this training grounds now with the F2. I'm just going to run through it for you guys and show you what I do to warm up before I play each time. Before we start too, when I warm up, I usually play the ranked pool maps. So I have all those ones enabled, like Skyscraper, you can see. I also run hard difficulty all the time to give me more of a challenge. I just try to run through it as fast as I can still. And usually I try to like flick stuff and practice quick peeks, you know, like this. Just do stuff like that against a wall. You know what I mean? That's what I find really helpful for me, at least. So maybe that'll help you guys out too. But for your recoil, literally when you spawn in, is to start shooting at a wall. And try to control it like that. And go like really far away. Do the same thing, like that. And just keep doing that from a certain distance. Like that's like nothing right there. That's a head that I just shot from 20 meters with the F2. And you know it's going to be harder when you're moving like this. When you come around the corner and try to shoot like that, it's going to be harder to control. So practice doing that. Don't just stand there and shoot at a wall that's right next to you. Try to move around like this. Practice going crouch too. Like this. Crouch shotting is a really good strategy because they're going to be aiming head level. And you duck right below their head and shoot them in the head. Always use unexpected movements to help you in the gunfights. You can also practice like flicking to the camera and flicking fast to a door or something. You could even practice your entry that you're going to be doing online when you play this map. Like so I'm on Skyscraper now, so you can come up, you can hit this, just throw a drone in, just basic stuff. No advanced take or anything. Just practice droning out the room really fast. You can make sure it's clear, you know there's going to be a camera here. You've seen that dude there. Obviously this is a bad example, there's a lot more you have to do in an actual match. But just try to practice clearing stuff out like that. I don't know what these terrorists are doing either. Little weirdos. And you can practice flicking around like that on people that are behind you. Again, you can practice like quick peeking like I just was there. You can practice your pre-fires. Like such. When you're coming around a corner like I just was there, try to practice dry peeking like this. So when you see somebody at this door like this dude, you can just shoot him. What is that dummy doing? And you can see I just crouch shot at that dude too. That's really the only way you can practice your sensitivity. Just try to move as much as you can. Oh, it's a dude. I'm gonna try to dry peek this guy again. He's right up against the wall. And there are ammo things around the map for you to refill. This one's at a weird spot though. Okay, I'm getting my ammo now. I had to clear the whole room out because these guys would not leave me alone. This is a weird spot for one of these bins too. It's all about positioning too. So when you come up here, if there isn't a dude here, try to hide as close here in case they do peek later. Because say it's clear now and then you try to push up. Oh my god, he just peeked me. The timing was so bad. No, the timing was bad, but you could have also played it better. You knew it was clear, so just chill here now. Because now they can peek this whenever they want, just because it was clear when you dry peeked it. So make sure you're doing this, coming around the corner. This is just one example on this map. Because now you can just take turns going to the angle. Because you're obviously not going to have drones all the time. You do want to use your drones too, that's your best resort. Drones are your best friend when you're playing solo queue especially. Even in real Siege, but when you're solo queuing, drones are your best friend. You lose one, that's a huge loss for you. Drones are almost as important as a player in like a 4v5. So you've seen these people are here. Let me clear these guys out really fast now. You can practice just quick peeking and dry peeking stuff. Because you're not going to always have drones, like I said. Even try to just practice shooting doors down like I just did. A lot of people have trouble shooting doors really fast. And that's really the only way to master your sensitivity like that. So I'm going for pre-fires here because I know there's a door there. Just like I did on that dude. If I just swung into the angle, he might have just killed me. Because I would have had to react to it. Doing this though, I could have got back into cover. To make that better, I could have crouched even the second time I peeked it. So he would have tried to shoot where my head was before. And I would have been crouched and I would have killed him already. It's all the little things that make your mechanics better. You just got to understand what you're trying to practice. You can't just do it blindly and expect to get results. You will get some results just doing it blindly. Just run through terror stunts for 2 hours. You're going to get better just by doing that. But you really got to understand what you're practicing. It's more of like a quality over quantity kind of thing. You got to make your practice really count. I'm a level 400 at this point too, so that doesn't hurt anything. Back in the first couple of years of this game, I played a lot of terrorist hunt with my friends. We literally just played terrorist hunt, so it got my aim and stuff really good, even when I was a noob in the online world. I only started playing online year 3 of this game in Chimera. I still remember I was a lion main when he had wall hacks. I was horrible. If you guys were wondering why I was gold 2 at the top during this video, it's because I've only played like 30 matches this season. Because I'm doing my solo queue things. Only played solo games this season. The games haven't been the best on my main, but we're getting there. I'll get my champion by the end of the season for sure. I'll go on a grind. We still have over a month left in the battle pass, so I'd imagine the season will end after that. I hope you guys enjoyed this though and found it helpful. If you did, leave a like down there below. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.